morning, I'm Inorazine Asdin.
And I'm Nabila Nurkistina Rodi. Welcome to the ADS659 News.
Bringing you the eye on the news for deforestation in Malaysia. One by one, the trees fall on the face of the earth in a string of human greed to catch the current of modernity. They are too obsessed with following the current globalization that they forget about their responsibility to take care of this priceless creation of God. We cannot deny that forests are very important in our lives. Forests can develop our country's timber industry, and it's been proven since Malaysia is the sixth largest exporter in the world.
According to the statement issued by the Malaysian Timber Council this year, where even though the country is currently facing the after effect of COVID-19, the total export of the wood-based sector has increased 8% to 6.54 billion ringgit compared to 6.04 billion ringgit in the quarter first 2022 compared to the same period in 2021.
From here, we can see that wood production is one of the country's main economic pillars. Even so, the benefit and importance of these forests are not a reason for us to continuously cut down forests. Forests are a world treasure that is very valuable because it brings various positive impact to both society and the country.
However, with the increase in the population in our country, the forest is deteriorating due to the threat of destruction from greedy parties who use forest resources and areas for various purposes. They only do something based on lust instead of thinking while they know the impact of the action on future generation. Forest logging like mushroom grow after rain for purposes such as plantation, agriculture, mining, industry, housing, and infrastructure has caused many threats to the forest.
To find out more about the threat and impact of this deforestation activity, let's join Nurul Fazilullah Simin, our location reporter who is currently in Batangkali.
Thank you, Norazlin, who is in studio. Hello, I am Nurul Fazilullah Simin, your location reporter. Currently, I am at the site of the landslide incident on Jalan Batangkali in Genting Heights, Selangor. More than 30 campers at the father's organic farm killed in this landslide tragedy. Two landslides happened within 20 to 30 minutes of each other at the site of the landslide that damaged 3 campgrounds at father's organic farm. It is commonly agreed that soil erosion is one of the consequences of deforestation. Land movement, such as landslide and slope failure, is a natural process that has occurred for centuries. However, human activity has worsened this. It is believed that human-caused deforestation has worsened soil erosion because of the functions of trees, which is to support the soil through their roots. If the trees are cut down, the soil will be exposed to the water that falls on it, especially considering that our country experiences a rainy season, which causes the soil to become saturated or damp. The absence of tree roots to absorb and retain rainwater has caused the slope to become unstable and collapse. This part of the landslide, which is surrounded by the reserve forest, was reportedly caused by the cleaning of the area. This tragedy was caused by the destructions of the area for organic agriculture and the development of campgrounds without replanting. Furthermore, deforestation has numerous additional harmful repercussions. Deforestation is also a cause of habitat loss. It is widely recognized that Malaysia is one of the 12 mega-biologically diverse countries in the world, accounting for between 60 and 70% of the world's total biodiversity. Plants are called flora, while animals are called fauna. Animal and plant existence are crucial to human survival. The flora and fauna that continue to exist in our country today are evidence of its diversity. More than 1,100 species of ferns and over 12,500 species of flowering plants still thrive in our national forests. Our country contains approximately 1,500 species of vertebrates and 150,000 types of invertebrates. The variety of life on Earth was a gift from God. As a result, people are entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining God's grace on land and at sea as is Caliph. Flora and fauna are in jeopardy due to the loss of breeding habitat and shortage of food sources caused by deforestation. Some plant and animal species will eventually become extinct. In Malaysia, endangered animal species include Sumatran rhinoceroses, elephants, tigers, and orangutans. According to the 2021 Global Forest Goals report published by the United Nations Department of Economy and Current Affairs, 80% of all animal species on Earth reside in forests, and 75% of the world's freshwater originates from forests. This indicates that Persistent forest destructions or exploration will result in the extinctions of the forest flora and fauna. Due to deforestation, Meranti, Jungle, and Balo trees, among others, will become extinct. If deforestation activities are out of control and unregulated, ecosystems that support wildlife and ecology will be affected. In response to habitat destructions, wild animals will either relocate or perish. The role that each animal and plant species plays in the food chain has a significant impact on the ability of animal and human to live. Nature requires millions of years to form, yet human may destroy it in a few decades. Next, deforestation will also contribute to global warming. As a cooling factor in hot climates, forests are crucial. Global warming is commonly associated with the greenhouse effect, which is a natural mechanism that helps keep the Earth's temperature at a level more conducive to life. Without the greenhouse effect, Earth will be uninhabitable and frozen. But as a result of human activity, greenhouse gas emissions have increased, intensifying the effect of greenhouse gases on global warming. Activities involving uncontrolled deforestation or destructions have the potential to raise local temperature. When the trees are destroyed, there will be no more shady vegetation to block sunlight from reaching the surface of the earth. The disappearance of trees, which act as carbon dioxide gas absorbers and oxygen gas emitters, will lead to an increase in the amount of carbon dioxide gas released by humans and animals, and the accumulation of these gases in the atmosphere. This phenomenon will have an impact on the community's daily lives because they dislike the temperature being excessively hot. The average surface temperature of Malaysia increased by 0.14 to 0.25 degrees Celsius every decade between 1970 and 2013, according to data collected by the United Nations. Malaysia's current average temperature of 24.63 degrees Celsius has been growing since 1964. By 2020, the average temperature will be around 1 degree warmer, or 26.05 degrees. Last but not least, deforestation in Malaysia has led to the destruction of watersheds and other areas that gather rainwater. In addition to serving as the lungs of the planet, trees also operate as sponges. Due to human activities involving deforestation, rain collection area in highland area will be impacted. This will decrease the rate of water absorption and storage in the soil, affect water distribution, and have detrimental effect on the local population. The forests absorb between 2 and 20% of the rainfall that falls on the Earth's surface. After then, the tree roots will serve as tubes for the absorbed water. In our country, rivers, oceans, ponds, and lakes all contribute to the overall water supply. The soil eroded by deforestation will pollute the water, and the soil that has eroded and entered the river will produce silts, which will cause the river to become shallower and raise the risk of flooding due to the disruptions of the rain catchment area. Despite the fact that the rainforest in Ulu Muda Kedah was declared as a rainwater catchment area in 2003, the state still permits land logging there, since it generates income for the government. However, the government did not consider the impact of providing permissions, which led to a loss in water quality and an increase in the amount of water treatment needed. This created an unresolved issue for the state of Kedah as well as for Penang, which received 40% of its water supply from Kedah. Now, we have Boy Alfani from the Batangkali with us today. We shall consult with her on the causes of deforestation.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Nadia Tunajah Alfaini binti Januri. So, in my opinion, commercial agriculture in Malaysia is one of the causes that contribute to deforestation. One of Malaysia's largest producers and exporters is palm oil, and as tax benefits are given to plantations owners, and their business are increasingly successful. One of the main threats to Malaysia's forests is the large-scale commercial agribusiness that has destroyed valuable rainforests for oil palm plantations. And as we all know, palm oil can be found in anything such as pizza, donut, and chocolates are just some of the packaged goods we might buy at the supermarket. Deforestation caused by palm oil continues to be a major cause of some of the world's most biodiverse forests, endangering the habitats of already endangered species like orang-utans, pigeon elephants, and Sumatra rhinos. Therefore, the entire oil palm industry must take action to address this as a serious issue. Next cause of deforestation in Malaysia are illegal logging. In every type of forest on every continent including Malaysia, there must be illegal logging. Illegal logging and related activities are involved the collection, movement, processing, purchase and sale of timber in violations of international or domestic law, destroying wildlife and the environment, stealing from the population will affect the threat. For example, the Kelantan state government admits illegal logging and encouragement in the state permanent forest reserve, where there are local residents who want to build gardens such plant durian tree and also oil palm trees, and then they make decision to cut down the tree. Another cause of deforestation is fire. Uncontrolled wildfires can destroy acres of rainforests at a time. For example, forest and bushfires in Sabah are major concern, especially during the dry season. Sabah Fire and Rescue Department Director Nordin Fauzi said based on records, his department received a total of 759 calls regarding forest and bushfires in the state at that time. However, without considering the ecosystem, fire can get out of control and consume more land than they should. Last but not least, development is also one of the causes of deforestation. In Malaysia, the word development is widely used to describe the country's economic objective and achievement as well as its political platform and main point. Not only that, more trees have been cut down to make way for resort as a result of the rise in tourism worldwide. Industrial growth result in the constructions of roads and also bridge, which benefit infrastructure. This may be advantageous to the country and also its people. To be concluded that there are several causes of deforestation that have give a negative impact on a larger scale.
Thank you, Fazila, for the report. My condolences to the families of the victims involved in the tragedy. Next, let's move on to the suggestion to overcome this issue with my colleague who is in the studio, Nabila Nur Christina.
Thank you, Anna Razlin. One of the approach that can be taken is to reduce the use of paper. This is a small thing, but it has a big impact on forest protection, especially in our country. Wood is a production material to produce paper, and its industry is the fourth most energy-intensive industrial sector in the world. Therefore, it is highly encouraged for everyone, especially Malaysians, to stop printing and go with paperless in their daily life.
Among the paper-saving practices that should be practiced in daily life is by reducing the use of paper in paperwork, meetings, and presentations. Available data and information can be saved in soft copy form, while email can be used as a substitute for letters and faxes. In terms of delivering information and flyers, instead of printing paper to distribute to people, we can use notice boards.
In addition, the government, especially the Forestry Department, needs to play a role in enforcing the law related to illegal deforestation. The government should enforce the National Forestry Act 1984 to provide more serious and heavier punishment, commensurate with the crimes committed by the irresponsible group, which causes the rate of deforestation in Malaysia become higher. Those who intend to do illegal logging will change their minds when there are stricter and heavy laws.
Section 25, subsection 1 of the Forestry Act 1984 states that license holders who violate the provision of this act may be dismissed by the State Forestry Director immediately. The laws enforced by the government can maintain and create order in society while stopping them from doing evil and immoral things. We can see the government's initiative under the National Forestry Act Amendment 1993, which is implemented with the aim of allocating punishments that are higher than the existing ones, in addition to further tightening the procedures to compound offenses.
The amendment of this act was also meant to improve the National Forestry Act 1984 as a whole while correcting minor errors. Apart from that, the government's responsibility for the preservation and conservation of natural plants and wildlife in Malaysia is to gazette forest reserve and national parks. Forest preservation and conservation measures need to be implemented because it is a natural treasure that is very important to humans and all other inhabitants of nature. In order to prevent natural plants and wildlife from being endangered due to human activities, announcing forest reserve is the best way. The National Forestry Council was established by the government to manage, preserve, and conserve forests throughout Malaysia. This initiative is taken to ensure that excessive destruction will not occur. This council also works to ensure that the natural forest conditions are maintained by establishing forest reserve, recreational forests, wildlife protection forests, and even national parks. Among the forests that have been gazetted all over Malaysia are Denham Valley Conservation Area, Maleo Basin Conservation Area, Semenggor Nature Reserve, Bako National Park, Taman Negara Malaysia, and many more. This could help the government to prevent the occurrence of invasion because forest reserve and national parks have a strict control system. Therefore, gazette forest reserve and national parks are good suggestions to reduce deforestation in our country. This initiative can not only reduce deforestation in Malaysia, but it can also attract the attention of the people and non-governmental organizations to join hands in preserving and conserving forests in the country for the sake of the balance of the natural ecosystem.
As Malaysian, we should be grateful for being surrounded by various natural resources such as natural gas, water, and fertile land. From this natural treasure, we get various benefits such as economic sources, safe place to live, and the beauty of nature to enjoy.
However, a few of our societies have taken advantage of it by destroying a part of this natural treasure. We cannot deny that we need development to enable our country to stand on par with other countries. However, we cannot ignore our earth, which is increasingly destroyed due to our own action. It is clear that forests, people, animals, and the environment depend on each other. Forest conservation measures such as gazetting more forests as forest reserve, replanting plants after felling activities, and monitoring deforestation activities periodically need to be implemented drastically. Prepare an umbrella before it rains and doesn't let our Malaysian earth cry.
With this cooperation, it is certain that control logging can be introduced and practiced. All parties must mobilize the energy and thoughts to ensure that this symptom can be overcome immediately so that our future generation can enjoy the beauty of nature that exists now. The commitment and cooperation of all parties will definitely create a green and harmonious Malaysia.
That's all for today's Time Sizzling News. Once again, I'm Nabila Nur Christina Rodi.
And I'm Enorazine Asdin, delivering news from ADS659 to Dr. Hydra and all of the viewers.